perhaps it is fitting I should find myself on an almost semi-exclusive shuttle ride along this unpaved road in rural Argentina. Hi, I'm Matt, and welcome to another edition of Orders on Budgets. On this episode, this will be a 3-day, 2-night hiking and camping excursion, plus a boat that will take us from Argentina to Chile.
Hi, I'm Matt, and welcome to this Pack of Matches, and thank you very much for tuning in.
Seems like this should be on the Blair Witch.
Next episode. But a reminder, Orders on Budgets.
Though we have left Parque Nacional Los Glaciares, we've come across several more glaciers and mountains. Leaving the village of El Chalten, Argentina's famed trekking capital in the southern Andes, this multi-day, multi-variable method to cross from Argentina into Chile begins with a grueling 2-hour, 40-kilometer shuttle ride to Lago del Desierto. Cida El Paso, yield the way. Almost in descending order, the distances from Lago del Desierto to other points in the country. El Chalten, population 3,000, 2 hours away. El Calafate, 5 hours away, population 25,000. Rio Gallegos, 100,000, big city in Patagonia, and there, the capital, Buenos Aires, at 3,000 kilometers away, its population 15 million. This is the pier at Punta Sur on Lago del Desierto. While it is certainly possible to take a boat across the lake, that is not the plan at this time. Instead, it is a 12-kilometer, about 4 hours, around the lake before we set up camp for night number 1. Con curiosidad, ¿conoces diario o semanal cuántos gente caminan en el camino?
El camino del Lago del Desierto, pienso que unas 10 personas al día cruzan caminando.
A esta parte,
de Punta Sur a Punta Norte. ¿Y cuánta gente viene aquí al Lago del Desierto? Mucha gente. Pienso que más de 100 personas al día visitan el Lago del Desierto.
So what she's saying is what I'm doing really isn't that special. If this section of the hike is about 12 kilometers, give or take 4 or 5 hours, tomorrow is another 6 hours. So again, figuring 15 kilometers all told, about 30. This weighs 25 kilos, and I'm hoping the trail isn't as steep as this all the time. Here we go. How's the fishing?
More or less.
Hey, nicely done. What is it? ¿Qué tipo de pescado?
Un arcoíris.
Arcoíris. Ooh, wow. A speckled trout. Wow. In the couple of minutes it's taken for me to fill up my water bottle, sit down and catch my breath. The sun, she's dipping down behind the mountains, so daylight will definitely be at a premium. I learned about these berries during a nature walk at the Parque Moreno Glacier, and here over the past few meters they've been abundant. I forget what they're called, just something. I think these are the right ones. Anyway, abundant. Aside from the signage to commence this hike back at the swinging bridge, this has been the only lettering on the trail. And as you can see, it says Punta Norte, 3 hours in that direction, Punta Sur, 3 hours in that direction, so we're halfway. Well, I thought I'd be farther along than where I am, so it'll be a bit of a challenge for the next couple of hours. However, we will pick it up tomorrow. So in the meantime, here's what I have to look forward to over the next, well, 5 or 6 kilometers. Well, the challenge of last night quickly gave way to exhaustion. Once I found this flat, dry strip of grass right on the trail, good as place as any to lay my head. So the plan today, and actually over the next couple of days, still about 20 kilometers to go to get to the port of Candelario Mancilla, which is where I will catch the boat to get to the village of O'Higgins in Chile. Meanwhile, the Argentinian border, in which I will leave the country, that's just on the other side of Lago del Desierto. For breakfast, it will be an egg sandwich. And when I prepared these a couple of days ago, they've since kind of lost their texture, but not their taste. Well, this was good timing that I should finally encounter somebody. Luca, who's holding the camera, Luca from Buenos Aires, he's the first person who I've seen in about 18 hours. So I get a chance to be filmed on mud, and also he has advised me that yes, there's a whole bunch of more mud behind him. Stepping out from the forested trail, this is the first glimpse of Punta Norte on Lago del Desierto. And this is the length of Lago del Desierto, Punta Sur in the distance. At Punta Norte, there is the Gendarmeria Nacional for Argentina, otherwise the border police. While it would seem odd that there would be a border post in this isolated region, especially considering there's still another 2 hours to walk to the actual border with Chile, there is historical importance as to why Argentina has a police headquarters here. As it was only in 1994 when Lago del Desierto, in an international tribune, was awarded to Argentina because this area has been historically contested between the two nations of Argentina and Chile. With my passport stamped Salida from Argentina, this sign confirms we are in the direction of the frontera con Argentina y Chile. Wonderful autumnal colors along the trail. Yeah, lovely colors. Lousy mud. Yeesh. Okay, this tells me I'm still in Argentina, but whatever this is, or more specifically was, it ain't in operation any longer. Based on the presence of this border crossing sign, that last structure, a couple of 100 meters back, would have been the previous border post for Argentina. So as I've walked up to the actual border between Argentina and Chile, this guy happens to be waiting here, and he told me that he's waiting for his cousin. ¿Qué es la importancia de hito entre ambos países?
Y es para delimitar las regiones, para que cada uno, digamos, sepa hasta dónde le corresponde su propio territorio.
Range Rover? Más o menos, ¿cuántos horas para pie?
5 horas.
5 horas. So there it is. 5 hours, 12 kilometers. It'll be done tomorrow, but 12 kilometers to go to get to the port of Candelario Mancilla. That's the relative Carlos was waiting for. Horses crossing back from Argentina into Chile. Rounding the corner from the Bienvenidos a Chile sign, I noticed these distance markers. And they say 16 kilometers to Candelario Mancilla, which is 4 kilometers more than I thought about 5 minutes ago. And that means it's an extra hour or hour and a half of hiking. And that, admittedly, was not planned. So, this will be a longer night than anticipated in terms of following this route or whatever route lays ahead. And yeah, it looks like we'll pick it up tomorrow somewhere along this trail. Now in Chile. Change of plans. After I'd walked 3 kilometers along the unpaved gravel road, Carlos and the Scorpion came by with his friends and said, here, come with us to Candelario. And I said, oh, well, no thank you, I'll continue walking. And then they said, oh, you must come with us. Then I said, why's that? Well, there is no camping allowed between the border and Candelario. So, far be it for me to break any Chilean laws upon entering the country. Yes, with a little bit of reluctance, I'm taking this private ride. I figured this needed to be reported on before we get to tomorrow's action. So with that, now I will see you tomorrow. This is what I've woken up to in the campground at Candelario Mancilla. No, not just the smelly shoes and socks. The horses. That's a better touch. Good morning from the Chilean side of this 3-day rural adventure. This is Lake O'Higgins. We'll be traversing that a little later this afternoon. In the meantime, I actually felt a little bit guilty taking that 12-kilometer hitchhike yesterday, but it wasn't under circumstances that I could particularly control, meaning that there was no camping permitted anywhere but the campsite beside the port. So to make it up to my viewers, we're going to take a short hike today and well, try to gain back some of those lost 12 kilometers. Here on the shores of Lago O'Higgins is the Chilean passport control, otherwise known as the Carabineros de Chile. This is a hito, a checkpoint. This orange pillar dots the Chilean-Argentinian border. This particular memorial is for a fallen carabinero who was killed in action in 1965 when he and 3 of his Chilean comrades were significantly outnumbered by about 3 or 4 dozen Argentinian police in a border incident that even more than half a century later has still not been forgotten. In this remote outpost, the half a dozen carabineros who are stationed here have to have something to do. So in the meantime, this might be one of the more prettier settings of a football field I've ever seen. Behind the Carabinero office is a short but steep Sendero La Bandera, the flag trail. Even though the Chilean flag isn't flying today, that won't take away from this vantage point. From this perspective, we can see the lake and where the boat will be sailing to this afternoon to Villa O'Higgins. With the extra time afforded to me based on yesterday's hitched ride, that allows me the opportunity to visit the village of Candelario Mancilla. That was the village. And yes, it is 21 kilometers to Lago del Desierto. Conspicuously absent from this sign is any reference that it is in Argentina. What's for lunch?
With cheese. You want one?
Actually, no, I was referring to what's in the pot.
Oh, this is lentils.
This body of water is shared between Chile and Argentina. The lake is known as Lago O'Higgins on the Chilean side, and on the Argentinian side, it's Lago San Martin. Nothing to see here, just your average iceberg in the middle of a South American lake. Amidst the splendor of the mountains and the turquoise water, almost lost would be this, I don't know, 100-meter waterfall. I wonder how often the boat stops at this property. So as the boat makes its way through this channel, we're about halfway from Candelario Mancilla to Villa O'Higgins, 90 minutes to go. And it would be here where it would be appropriate to say adios and thank you for tuning in to this extended version of Borders on Budgets. There's been a lot to see over these past 3 days. Upon leaving El Chalten, walking around Lago del Desierto, crossing the border into Chile, and even taking a glimpse at Candelario Mancilla. Thank you for tuning in. A reminder, Borders on Budgets, long distance hikes, slices of life, not a lot of money. From Lago O'Higgins in Chile, after crossing the border from Argentina, thank you for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. And yes, I'm going to clean myself up in O'Higgins. Ooh, tunnel! It's a tunnel! Oh, how neat! Woo, woo! I know a good interview when I hear one. The captain will describe the waves that we've been encountering.
El lago O'Higgins se destaca por los vientos reinantes que hay en este lugar. Son entre 60 a 80 kilómetros, los vientos levantan olas hasta 3 metros y medio, cubriendo completo la embarcación.
So the captain just said it's possible waves on the lake can be 3 or 4 meters high. I'm certainly glad I finished my stand-up, about 10 minutes ago. Did you like this extended episode? Good! Help Borders on Budgets. Hit the subscribe button below, and if I reach 100,000 subscribers, I will marry into Candelario Mancilla.